Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. It's Talk Shit Tuesday. What up? Big shout out to all my people out there in the Shark Tank. Big shout out to all my people out there on the back street. Y'all know what time it is. People on the back street, y'all know what it is. Roll them up, get that drink together, sit back and relax. Hey, for everybody, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that like button. Let me give my quick shout outs right quick. Big shout out to my man, Talk of the City, Kennels in the house. What up, fam? The one and only Mr. Courtney Edwards in the hills. What up, fam? Yo, K-Walk. I see you, fam. The one and only, the incomparable Mr. David Morse in the house. What up, fam? Big shout out to my man, John Dimbry in the house. What up, fam? Yo, my man, Mr. Derek Lockett in the house. I see you, fam. Big shout out to my main man, Mr. William McNeil in the house. What up, fam? Yo, Melee. What up, fam? And big shout out to the Mad Doctor. I see you, fam. Hey, yeah, check it out, fam. To my people, I hope everybody enjoyed your damn Labor Day weekend, because I sure as hell didn't. Rain like hell around here. You know, you get that time off and you're ready to get out there and do something, trying to celebrate my anniversary and everything, and it rained all over the damn place. I was mad as hell about that shit. But check this out. Now, y'all know we're always talking about the now versus the past. And I guess age has a lot to do with a lot of things, considering that, you know, I guess when you get to my age, I sit back and things that, you know, I went through in my past is seems like it was just yesterday. You know, the number, I guess when I sit down and think about how old I am, it makes me, you know, stop and rethink things. You know, my last show I had a partner that called in late, but hadn't seen him in 25 plus years. And he just happened to be over somebody's house and he seen me, you know, and then that person was watching our video. And that's what made him call in. But it's funny how time passed, because this guy was a young kid. I think he was a senior in high school when I met him. Him and a couple other guys. And I hired him to work in my shop. And I taught him all the trade. And it was just funny, because a lot of things he was saying to me, and how he, you know, over the years for him as he grew up, and he's in his 50s now. And it was almost like the things that he learned, it helped him throughout his life, because he never forgot the things that he learned back when he was running around with us. And that made me stop and think about a lot of things, you know, as we do this show. Because even for him, he knew us one way. And it was a shock to see us, you know, doing a video talking about dogs. That it worried him. That's what made him call, because he said, my boys don't move like that. You know what I'm saying? And he was kind of like, is something wrong? Like he was thinking we were going to be dying or something. You know, he went to this little panic mode thing. But it kind of brought me back to where, you know, when we be talking to you guys about the video, you know, talking about the dogs, we always tell you, you know, we talk about our past. And see, in our past, we lived that, so we can associate and have conversations about things that we know during that time period. So when we start talking about the now, you know, when you're trying to relate to a lot of you younger guys. Now, some of the older guys, they probably understand a lot of the conversation because they was back there in that time period, and it's evident that for all of us who lived back in that time period and were doing dogs, and some of you don't have to be as old as I am, but if you're running around in your 50s, I still would have 13 years on my people in their 50s. So that decade, there's a lot of things that happened within that decade of time period. But think about it. For us being young, starting out, going through that whole process and learning all the things that we learned along the way, all the things that we've seen along the way, all the conversations, all the good, all the bad. I can truly tell you, we never really got a chance to know everybody in the dog game. I think the game was so big back then, it was impossible to know everybody. But as you follow along and you see different stories and different conversations, like you see certain names that always pop up. Certain circles, you always see them being associated with each other. I lived during a time period where that slow crossover was happening. I call it a slow crossover because, again, I got a chance to meet Ozzy and a whole bunch of the other guys, the white guys coming up in the game. So it wasn't like, coming from North Carolina, white guys. But still dealing with a lot of black dog men. But a lot of the guys we met, the triplets, Mr. Stevenson, all of them were white guys. So as time came on, look at all the people that we met along the way. Y'all always hear a combination of white and black and Latinos and some of everything. So the game for us was it wasn't a color barrier at that point in time. Not to the point to where I seen it as being an issue. Now, in the early 80s, it may have been due to the fact that we were new in the game. The Robinsons and the triplets and the Kimsey Woods and the Atlas Brewers, James Edwards, all white guys. So being inducted into that limelight of a beginning, to see how that changed over the years, and we still didn't know everybody. Even going from Ohio, from North Carolina to Ohio, still met a lot of white guys. But the reason I had this conversation, because a lot of the stories and a lot of the things that I hear in the now, like when we be talking about, everybody, breeding you just breeding to sell puppies and don't know what the dogs is going to look like, and moving forward to the point to where, I even commented, I might have been on the last show or maybe the show before, about when I be sitting up here when most sits here and talk, that the young guys feel like we're saying that your dogs ain't shit. Well, let me be the first to tell you, statements like that and a lot of things, from down to the steroids, down to the breeding curves, down to the puppy peddler, man, that shit been like that from as far back as I can remember. Those conversations were out there. So when I see people take our conversation and says it's like we putting you down and things like that, y'all have to understand. Let me get this this understanding. This is the American Pit Bull Terrier community. There's a lot of things as you will learn as you grow in this game, and I'm talking to my 50 and unders. There's a lot that you probably would have learned from the very first time you got an American Pit Bull Terrier to the time that you are now. And I don't know exactly where some of you guys are, but just imagine you ain't got that time in. So much that you don't know. But as you continue to grow in this community, look how much knowledge you'll gain as you grow in it if you stay in it long enough. You're gonna meet a lot of people. You're gonna see a lot of names. You're gonna see a lot of dogs. You're gonna see a lot of dog pedigrees. But you have to remember, as an individual in that community, you set your place or where you're gonna stand in that community. See, the community is there, but it actually boils down to what part you're gonna play in that community. So it's not like somebody putting you down or anything like that. I think it's a growing experience. And for me, I look at it like it would be different if I sat in this camera and I know I was talking to a bunch of kindergarten from kindergarten to the 12th grade. You know what I mean? My conversation would be so much different dealing with the kindergartens than I would be dealing with my people in the 12th grade. So when I'm dealing with grown people, which I feel like I'm dealing with grown people, some of the things that I would think would be common sense. The common sense thing. Now, unless you 18 or 19 years old, you still got a whole lot of life to live. I mean, you ain't even got into your 20s. But from your 20s into your 30s, there's a whole lot of living going on, and a whole lot of responsibility, and a whole lot of life changes happen within those time periods. So when I talk about these dog situations in the community, I'm taking it like experience. I've lived it from a young kid, from my 20s through my entire 40s. That's a whole lot of learning, a whole lot of seeing, a whole lot of knowing. And then when I can look back and say, well, we learned a lot and we had fun. We can talk about those things. We can talk about those things. Why? Because we experienced those things. All the way down to the stealing, the raiding, the bullshitting, people's, all types of things that came with that. It all made sense after you live it and you look back on it. But if you're living through it, you have to accept that your experience in the game is going to be your experience. Your dogs that represent you are going to be a representation of the things that you have done and you put together. That's your mark on the game. You won't understand what that means until you actually have accomplished something. And I don't know what, I wouldn't say we were setting goals. I would just tell you that because of the people that we're around and maybe because of our attitude, our willingness to, if we're going to do this, we're going to try to be the best that we can be in the process of doing it. That's all in the individual. I mean, we could have just took dogs and just raised dogs and, I don't know what else. I can imagine just having a whole bunch of damn dogs, and just breed them just to be breeding them. But then I blame that on us because we didn't come into the game learning like that. We came into the game understanding a pit bull is a fighting dog. That's how we came in. So moving forward, there was nothing that interrupted that. Nothing. I mean, if a breeder had came in and showed us something, that would have been, that would have deterred us away from that, then who's to say what it had been like? But that didn't happen for us. what did happen for us was our eagerness to want to have good box dogs. That was the competitive drive for us dealing with these American Pit Bull Terriers. Now, everybody don't have that. So I don't, trust me, I do not knock people who don't have that. For whatever reason it is that you choose to do what you do, you don't sit back and hate on somebody for doing what they're doing because you chose to do something else. That's why I always sit back and I'm cool with staying in your lane part. That is the most truest statement that solidifies this American Pit Bull Terrier community. There's levels to this shit. There really is. I wouldn't care if you bred dogs 10 years. You know what I'm saying? And never produced anything worthy of talking about. And the reason I say worthy of talking about, because if you spend 10 years in this game, you're going to realize why people are talking about other people's dogs and not talking about your dogs. Bottom line. That's just how that works. You don't have any control over that. You keep doing what you're doing, they're going to be doing what they're doing. And they might be talking about these other people's dogs, but nobody's talking about your dogs. That doesn't make you somebody who don't know what they're doing. You just haven't had the chance in that first 10 years to be able to create something that anybody and everybody is willing to talk about. That, to me, is just a part of how life works. That's just life. I wouldn't give a damn if it was dogs or guard training or anything that you do in life. There's levels to this shit. There's lanes to these things. You know, all the way down to the street hustler. You might have been the one on the corner. Everybody know Bobo on the block. Everybody know Bobo. Why? Because Bobo out there. Bobo doing everything right. Bobo got all the customers. Maybe because of the time Bobo spent on the block. Those are the things that I look at as far as moving forward dealing with these dogs. You have to accept where you at and determine which way and direction that you're trying to go in the process of being a better dog person. Dog man, dog woman, dog breeder. You know, everything that comes with it, whether it's running the damn treadmill, running up a wall, all these things are always going to be, you know, it's always going to fall on the back of the dog man, the owner of the dogs, your dogs, things that you created. These are things that you're doing. See, my purpose of this conversation is, again, I sit back and I watch people hate, go through all the, you know, the argue, fuss, thing, and everything. I mean, I've seen, you know, we've been doing this long enough. A minute, we pop our head as up. You know, we've seen enough that, you know, you do this part of YouTube, this what I call the internet world, social media. I'm gonna put it like that. That's social media. All the things that comes with the social media. Now, in the very beginning, things start off slow. Y'all see, you know, it's a growing process. What gets people, you know, how do you get people to listen? How do you get people to come see what you're talking about? It's a growing thing, like no different than dealing with the dog. Sometimes you have to be able to realize where you at. I am not no Shay. I don't know. I'm not trying to be, you know, big like 7-8. I want to be like 7-8. Why? Because he put together something that was not only entertaining, but it was informative. That's what grew my attention to him. I'm stepping into the social media world, and if it was anybody that I'm going to be, jump on their bandwagon, I seen that guy, yeah, that's the guy I need to get with. And through the blessings of the heavens, that guy got with us, and boom. That's that lane. That's that being able to see something, go after it, and through their blessings, they open up the doors and let you in. But it's still up to us to take that and move forward with it. This dog game is no different. One of the things I wanted to talk about, I was, just sitting here. I'm going to just go over this story right quick. Now, just to give you a quick insight of this story, this is another story out of the Game Dog Times. This story here was actually done, and if I'm not correct, let me see here. I'm at 149. I'm going to get you the year right quick. Hold on. I think we're in edition. I think this story was I would put this way back in 1992, 93. And get down and let me get to the story right quick here. Let me see here. Just want to make sure I'm in the right spot. Yeah. But just one of them things that I laugh about it because I sit down and I told y'all I might not be in every show, but I do get around and I just check out what everybody else is doing. I'm always going to be a supporter. Okay. Today, y'all follow along with me. Today, after nearly 20 years studying game dogs for matching and knowing what I know now about conditioning, I'm certain that with all the modern drugs and the shots we see for sale, that a lot of dogmen lose the matches sometimes. The dogs simply because they complicate things and they listen to sales talks and getting stuck in a groove. They see these fancy high dollar keeps for sale and they think that the success lies in how much you spend in a keep, and how much you match for, and the more you put in, the more you get out. This can be true when it comes down to effort, and it don't mean the more shots you put in your dog, the better he is. Some dogs may benefit by being conditioned on shots just the same as some will not. I believe the only true beneficiary of steroids and shots is the dogman who simply wants to cut corners and seen a few more hours in bed or in the safety of a belief that tells him to cheat to win. Okay, let me get back to this. Now, that part right there, I'm going to take it from, I'm going to stop right there because I'm going to deal with the steroid conversation. If you listen to the conversation that we have today, now this is 93, we in 2024, and I know that in them same podcasts and you hear from different people, you always hear that pro and con. We always stood on what we believed in. But imagine how the game was back in the day, prior to this conversation being made, that when people were actually accusing people for being on PhDs, steroids, accusing people. He's on roids, he's on roids. And be mad because that person's on roids. They're not going to tell you they're on roids because they don't have to tell you. But you got to have excuses because you got your ass beat. Now, keep this in mind. This is 93. And the person who told this story and they had their opinion, they still felt like using roids, we had to cheat to win. That's cheating to win. Look how far back that goes. Knowing the steroids, you could use them or you didn't have to use them. It was your option as a dog man. I remember we didn't start off using steroids in our case. We learned roids. I would say a how cash. Right after, I would say we lost to him with Dusty. And then we really got better at it when we went to Puerto Rico. Because they really tightened this up. I mean, really, they solidified, okay, here we go. My boy Cash, he knew a little, he knew, but he really didn't know what I learned when I went to Puerto Rico. But remember, the whole time now, I'm around the McNasties and the Abrahams and the True Colors and all those guys. And I'm watching the different ways that they're using these words. I was seeing people popping dogs right before the match. The day of, right there, pow, bang. You know what I'm saying? But the thing that trips me out about it is the conversation back when this conversation was being had in 93. They were still, I remember they had an article in the Sport and Dog Journal. I know we used to run around with Deep South. And, that was a, big ass article thing. Because remember, Deep South, they were the first ones that had Barracuda. And they had Twisted on their yard. And remember, we still had Brat and Mama. So a lot of things that we were doing, we was matching a lot of dogs. We had Twisted Nico and Red Man. I mean, we were matching a lot of dogs, put it like that. And they put this article in the Sport and Dog Journal that they was using roids like it was a bad thing. I had to put out there like that. They had to confirm it and everything. The way they confirmed it, because the brother just came out on tunnel, and that's basically how it went down. And it was like, oh, he admitted it. And believe me, that was our attitude about it. I mean, never understood why, people got all hyped up about that. Hello? Hold on, fellas. What up, bro? Yeah. No, he ain't in yet, but you can just try him back later. No, I haven't heard of them. Okay, bro. You know, hold on, let me get this down. You know, that was my man. But these are things that over time, and I remember that you know, that even when we were having a conversation, it was funny to me because I remember that whole situation back then. Do you think it stopped us from doing it? No. Actually, what started actually happening is more people started doing it and trying to learn it. And why do you think they was doing that? I'm gonna tell you why they was doing that. Because they really was thinking it was giving us the upper hand. They almost started looking like the same way the regular sports start taking it. You know, you have an advantage. That they would call it cheating. Why would they call it cheating? Because at the time when everybody else in sports was doing it, you know, it didn't really matter until, guess what? It's a performance enhancing drug. That's cheating. When the humans start looking at it that way, it kind of makes you think about the dog situation. Because how long you think humans have been using it? We can go all the way back to Arnold Schwarzenegger and to WWF wrestling and the weightlifting, all that kind of shit. But when did it start spiking to where it became a problem? Because you felt like we had an advantage over the natural way of doing things, where sports actually outlawed it. The dogs didn't. So what do you think the community started doing? Everybody wanted to be on the same playing field. Some wanted to do it, some didn't. But as it says, and in his own comment, worked for some dogs, didn't work for others, didn't, it was like this. But he still ended his comment with belief that tells them to cheat to win. Cheating to me is you're doing something outside the boundary of the rules. I never took steroids as far as cheating in a dog game. That's just one of the things. Because as you notice, the success of the dog still does not, for us, and this is my belief, the success of the dog is not going to be found in the PhD. The dog ain't got it. It just ain't got it. The drug just was not that thing that made me believe that it gave him superpowers. I never ever was taught that. I was never ever believed that that shot was going to make something spectacular happen. But that's again, is it the lack of knowledge because it was so new back then that as time went on, they started realizing it didn't matter. Because back then, not everybody would walk up to you and say you're on steroids, or ask you, because it really wasn't none of their business. To the point there where it was almost like nobody asked. But remember, there was a time where people would look at the dog and use that he's on roids and use that as an excuse to why you got your ass whooped. It shouldn't have mattered. You were going to get your ass whooped regardless. I mean, those type of things. So imagine when you write a story and say that person, they winning only because they on roids. Wow. That's a hell of a story to put out there. And then be shocked when a person say, and? Yeah, and? I never knew there was a rule that said you couldn't. And even after that big blow up, it never was a rule implemented that said you couldn't. What takes me to the next thing. Bring this down here a little bit. Check this out. It says right here, we're going to start right here. I have always had a love of gameness, be it in the dog or the rooster or man. This may be a throwback to my heritage, where we fought the wars of the roses against the Yorkshire people, or where we repelled the many tribes who tried to conquer our island down through the years. Today, we are fed a diet of movie heroes such as Rambo and Arnie and other comic bullshit heroes that are a joke. The same applies in the dog game, where we are asked to buy dogs that are bred out of generations of shitty ass curs. It's about time we look a little further back than yesterday and started to accept the fact that near all the present fast lane dogs are bred out of dogs that wouldn't have been given to kennels. That wouldn't have been given to kennels room 20 years ago. Seems like the game is full of dog men that want to say he quit and she quit, and at the same time they have yards full of dogs that sure as hell ain't smelling the roses. Today the magazines cater to the puppy peddlers, and you only need to check out the adverts, which is the advertisements in any magazine, and check the crap they print. The game is supposed to be about the gameness. Isn't this the American Game Dog Times? And if so, why are there so many of the dogs featured breeds out of dogs that were not game? If you breed from a cur, you get curs. That's a fact. Don't change none, and only way to get around this fact is to call all your dogs carrying cur blood. You can imagine the game if this happens. Wow. It would be a reversal to the very early 60s, and we would have a few million less curs in the game. Please, can someone explain to me how dogs of today that have quit, like the dogs Bill mentioned in March-April issue, quitting Croc, Little Red, how are these dogs curs and not fit to breed, and curs like Snooty, Otis, Bo, and Bully Son featured in Pedigrees like they were game dogs? Seems to me like some people have short memories, and it makes me wonder when I see advertisement like the one for Pit Stop's champion mechanic in the May-June issue, where his advertisement states that, and I quote, 50% honey buns, 25% Bo, 25% Otis, and that adds up to 100% bulldog. That's bullshit, man. Honey Bunch was 50% Bully Son, who was a cur. Plus, Honey Bunch's damn Amber was out of the cur dog Carver's Cracker that quit. Bo was a cur, and so was Crenshaw's champion Otis. This means that Mechanic is at least 75% cur. That is not my opinion, but it is fact. They forgot to mention, now tell me this, anyone, how can a dog bred like this be classified as a game bred dog or a game dog? I may just have missed out on a few facts along the way, and perhaps generations of curs can produce game dogs. I sure would love to know. It may seem like I have got a downer on certain dogs, but I am just stating facts that can be checked out of all you need to be able to read without roses, colored glasses, and to be honest. I myself had some success with dogs that I really liked and felt were well bred, and then I got wiser and began to understand the games a little better and realized that what I had were a bunch of scatterbred curs that were to be honest, I wouldn't give kennel space and I'm being honest, I had to give them all away as pets on condition they were never bred from. What I write may or may not please you all, but it's a fact that I cannot change about certain dogs that have quit. Even my own have quit. But the sad and the true part is there are those among us that think otherwise, and that's where it all went very sadly wrong. I'll close by wishing you all well, and regardless of how your yard is bred, keep them game and scratching as if our peers had practiced what they all did preach. Then we wouldn't be where we are today. Reading a story that's written by a dogman from the Red Rose country of Lancashire, heaven on earth, God's own back garden. Take care out there and don't let them grind you down. May the Lord bless you and your families. My man Springview. Now, what I found interesting about that conversation is everything that he said is not, I mean, you can dispute it, but but the thing is, what he said is fact. That's fact. I mean, regardless of how it sounded, how crazy it sounded to some of y'all, what he said was facts. And think about this. This is 1993. If you look back on that time period, and he brought up the mechanic dog. Can you remember, we ended up breeding to mechanic. He was an older dog by that time. But think about it. The Honey Bunch conversation. The Snooty. The Bo. I mean, all the dogs that he named, man, that we can still talk about to this day. I mean, they end up producing good dogs. My thing is, if you notice, when we talk about our past, we're talking about that time period that he's talking about. Imagine that same conversation 25 years from where we were at into the future, like the now. Imagine that conversation. Imagine living in the now, talking like this. What would make the now any different than this except for history? Everything that he spoke on had already happened, and it is fact. It's a fact. But it's also a fact that a lot of them dogs he talked about were able to produce. Back then, at the moment, I guess you wouldn't have known what future would have, how much impact those certain dogs would have had on the future. And so I put myself in y'all's position, the now. You don't know how much impact certain dogs going to have on the future. Only history is going to be able to correct that to the point to where it makes it fact. Because based on everything he said, and we're living in the now, everything that he said is truly fact. The only thing he kind of left out because he hadn't got a chance to see the impact because of the future is time. So take that same conversation and put it in the now. Same advertising, same thing, people out selling puppies. Same thing, people breeding curs. Same thing, ain't nobody calling nothing. Same thing, just out here talking. There is no reason to hate on something based off of a fact. The fact is, those dogs quit. But just because those dogs quit does not make it that they can't produce. How would you know? Only time gonna tell. So what's to argue about? Oh, he over there breeding a bunch of curs. How many people do you think was like, take us for instance, prior to knowing, hold on you guys. Sorry about that. Bulldog going nuts. But think about when we didn't know much about Snooty. We got Snooty, Molly B, all that Snooty shit out there. Not really giving a damn. We just rolling with it. Because they said, good bulldogs. If that had been something that had deterred us away from doing the things that we did, you think that would have, would that have been enough to shut us down? You know what I'm saying? Would that have been enough to deter us from saying, no, I don't want none of that? Because the only reason we got it because it was actually being given to us and we didn't know no better. See, you got to be able to just find yourself in a certain situation, knowing that you don't know how that situation is going to be. And you got to go with what you got. And not everybody's going to be able to do the things that other people were able to do. Remember, everybody don't have the same amount of knowledge. Everybody don't have the same amount of skill. There's so many things that's involved when it comes down to these dogs that you can't always blame it on the dog. You can't always blame it on the breeder. Sometimes you got to look at yourself. And I'm a true believer in that. Before you go to putting, blaming anybody else, check yourself. Because for me being on the business side of things, I always looked at, regardless of, anytime something goes wrong or somebody do something and they work for me, I have to take full responsibility for that person. That person's mistakes reflect on me. So understand when it's a true statement when it says all shit runs downhill. You know what I'm saying? And why do it run downhill? Because the person who's responsible for all that shit, the argument ain't going to be for the customer about what this person did. But the responsibility falls on that person that's up at the top. And he's got to come all the way down the hill and deal with everything that led up to that problem. And how he addresses it, still, when shit rolls downhill, shit start changing. And that's basically how this dog game worked. Maybe that's why we were able to be, half as successful, because we got input from a whole lot of different sources, and not just based on reading a book, but being able to get out there and see for yourself. Get out there and have them conversations yourself. Get out there and soak up as much knowledge and then be true for all the information that you have taken in. Because trust me, we didn't get to where we got to talking shit to nobody. Actually, we were some of the most humblest guys you ever want to know. Humble. Let the dogs do the talking. But never let anyone take that niceness as a weakness. Everybody always knew, don't take their niceness for a weakness. Because when they blow up, they blow up. But we set our mark. We let our dogs do our talking. True believers in that. Look at the people we were running with. Look at all the names, all the things we've seen. So it's hard for me to be in the now and then watch the crying that I see. And the back and forth that I see. I always looked at, damn, man. True colors. My man Tony Rogers, he was a bullshitter. I mean, he talked shit all the time. Anybody knew Tony? No, Tony would set it off. McNasty, Mr. T, they set it off. Abraham's, we kind of took their role because, it was two brothers and we kind of took their kind of way of how laid back they was. But then in the same token, took on that other part of McNasty, who was to talk to all the shit all the time, and then you got Mr. T, who was the enforcer, where McNasty could talk that shit. So you combine them two things together. You know what I'm saying? Took a little bit of something from each one of them and made it our own. See, I'm one of them who sit back and I watch all the people who talk shit. I always tell y'all really don't know us. Really, truly don't know us. Personally. But we try to give you the full scope of us as dog men and our relationship to this community. We have our things to say and then we move on. It's not about me, for us it's not about the back and forth thing. We say what we got to say and then we move on to the next thing. Anything other than that is just motherfuckers talking. And you know how I feel about people running their mouth. Don't talk about it, be about it. What kind of person would I be if I didn't stand on that? 10 toes down. And it's easier for us to be like that because that's just who we are. We're going to say what we got to say and be done with it. Anything beyond that, trust me, time will tell. But being able to establish you as a person, who you are, as a dog man, as a person in this community who are feeding, raising, cleaning up shit, taking the responsibility to have an American Pit Bull Terrier. Nobody can live that part of your experience but you. So when I see people out there who talk that bullshit, it's easy for me to know that the same ones that be talking that bullshit ain't never really done shit. See, that's how I take it. Why do I take it like that? Well, I've lived life long enough that always, when I'm dealing with a certain situation, I always say, you've got 10 people over there, but you got one mouthpiece. I guarantee you eliminate that mouthpiece, them other 9 gonna run. What you bet? Why? Because that's the look of nature. That's just how that always worked out. Maybe that's why never wanted to be the one that was always caught talking shit, because of the way I felt about people who talk shit. Just like this guy, he felt a certain type of way about the steroids. He felt it was cheating. That's no knock on him. He wasn't the only one who felt like that. But the fact, what's the facts? Regardless of how you feel and what you think about it, it's not cheating, and I'm going to do it because I want to do it. You ain't got to do it. Give a damn whether you do it or not. But you'll have nothing to say about what I do with my shit. And most of the guys, you know, you like it or not, it is what it is. So you feel like you got cheated, guess what? Then that's on you. And a lot of people, you know, that went on for a minute. So what do you think was going to happen? Everybody started using roids, whether they was using them right or not, or who the hell they was learning them from. That's just what led up to that bullshit. Same thing with the advertisement, the selling of the puppies, and, you know, curs being bred to curs, all that crazy shit that I hear even in the now. Was no different than what I was hearing. And this is why I bought this up, because this, I could go back I can come up and go back to the 80s and show you the same damn conversation. You know what I mean? I can go all through the 2000s, show you the same conversations. The one thing that I have noticed, the American Pit Bull Terrier has still been able to survive. And we still have good dogs out there. It's the matter of what makes up the community. Can you have a community without the dog men? No. Can the dog man have a community of the American Pit Bull Terrier without the good dogs? No. So understanding that, what's going to be your place, your role in that big ass community? Are you one that ain't never done shit, ain't been about shit, but you hanging out of the community just to talk shit? Are you one of the ones that gets mad because you used to deal with bulldogs and all this other shit, but don't have nothing to talk about? Don't nobody know you? Don't have nothing to bring up? I mean, is that reason to get mad at somebody who can show what they've done? Have something? Is that a reason to get mad? No. But why do you think it happens? Why do you think it happens? The same reason why I say the person over there that's talking the most shit, take out that motherfucker right there, and I guarantee you the other 9 are going to disappear. Because talk really ain't never got shit done in life for me. When I talk about it, I truly be about it. I say I'm going to do something, you can best believe I'm going to do something. Maybe that's just the way we are as people. Maybe that's where growth comes from. Because when you live like that, sometimes you really don't talk much. You just do. When you take all your mistakes, you take all your failures, and you pick yourself back up, and you just get better. To me, that's the determination. That's the tenacity to try to be the best that you can be. You know, I don't know if that came from my mom, my dad, my upbringing, the people in my life, the Marines, all these different things that I could attribute that to, because they all had that certain discipline of structure and drive. Get focused, put your mind in it, and go at it. Be the best that you can be. Don't leave nothing on the table. Don't make excuses. All the things that it takes to be that person that they want to talk about. Get off the table. Let's get over a little bit. Move that chair over a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Mic check. You know what I mean? So, the future, whether you're running up a treadmill, running up a wall, confirmation shows, all that shit, that's a future. No different than any other future that we done had when it came down to these bulldogs. So anytime anybody want to sit back and be thinking, oh, we doing this or you talking, no, this takes me back to what I said. Stop talking about it and be about it. Make it happen, Captain. That's what I be on. Because talk don't get shit done. You can have an ideal. You can speak that ideal to a certain person. But because you spoke to a certain person and you didn't react on it, are you going to talk shit because that person took your ideal and went and done something that you didn't do? You know, nowadays we call that, you know, before you think of anything and you put it out to anybody, you better get it copywritten. Protect yourself. I mean, look at all the things that's in place to protect yourself from that type of shit. But that's life, gentlemen. So, take that little bit of a conversation and understand as we move forward and as we head our way, you know, to the end of what we've been trying to do. I clear up a little bit of the trash along the way. This ain't about us being better than anybody. This ain't about us talking down on anybody. This is about us coming at you real as we possibly can. 100%, because one damn thing for sure, we do not have to get in front of this camera that don't pay us a damn thing worthy of even discussing to sit here and be bullshitting with y'all. We S2W for fucking real. We don't just talk about it. We don't talk about it. We be about it. What we are doing is sharing our experience. Why would a person want to share their experience and then try to bullshit you? See, I throw all that shit and just throw it out the window, you know, and why everybody else can throw shit and see what stick. Here's the thing about realness. If you don't think I could beat your ass, the only way you would ever find out is come see. Really. And I would think, if you really wanted to come see, look at all that you had a chance to do before you come see. Because I'm going to know everything about you when I come get you. Everything. I'm a trained Marine. So these little things, remember, it's the little things. As a grown person, you ain't a kid no more. We talking about grown folk now. These dogs ain't nothing to be playing with. Anytime that you can find yourself in a situation that you can spend time, you can go to jail, you can put your family in jeopardy. This game ain't meant for everybody. And I stand on that. Not everybody can have good dogs. Not everybody can be a good dog man. Not everybody can be a breeder. The only ones that's going to be worthy of talk about is the ones going to have something to talk about. And really, they ain't got to say much because the success in their work going to speak for itself. How do I know that? Because time will show you. Time will take care of that. All you got to do is keep moving forward. Because for everything that you move forward on, you're going to leave a history behind you. And your future is always going to bring you back to your history. And your history will speak for itself where you don't have to say shit. Take that as a note. Put that on solid and roll with it. And I'm going to hand this over to my brother and let him take you from there.
What up, everybody? Complaints. That's what this show about, y'all. Complaints. I always look at just, you know me. My mind is always in the dogs. You know, that's why I stay back there where I'm at, because it's always in the dogs. You know, when I step outside and start getting on anything outside the dog, you will go back and check on everything Twin 2 speak on. It's always me dragging a dog. You know, I don't talk about you without talking about your dog. I can be telling you the world your dog is a good dog. You know what I'm saying? But as a kennel, you ain't shit. I can tell you that, you know, and I always feel like my opinion, it's not never throwing any emotion. Mine, I'm throwing, you know, facts where, you know, there's reasoning. There's no hating. There's just reasons for that type of opinion. You know, and I point the shit out. Now, whether, you know, some don't want to hear it, or some might call it interesting, some might be got a point. You know? But it always leaves that interesting factor is, you know, let the truth speak for itself. You know what I'm saying? If that question needs to be answered, then there's a truth in that question. Even when we look at it. Everybody's not going to see the same truth. You know, that's what makes the difference of opinions, because everybody sees their truth and everybody sees their truth as being the right. So if you stick on, the whole purpose for me is still with the dogs, because it's the dogs is literally doing the work. You know, we do our part, but the dog has to be worth that in all. If you ain't got it, then why are you doing it? You know, so it always starts with the dog, and that's why I think I have always felt like being very disciplined in the care and the taking care of my dogs, and going through everything I can to learn how to take care of that dog. You know, when you got a good one, you want to really be able to take care of that dog. And I've seen many great dogs, so it's like, you know, me even getting to know the kennels, how they took care of those dogs. I mean, it's like a pit bull or a dog fighter's mentality. And, I always put above what my travels. I'm the guy that got a chance to hook on and took that roller coaster ride. But the thing was, I had an opportunity to be on that train and be part of the train that was rolling. And I seen so many things by great dog men, and a lot of people don't want to believe it, but it's the fact that every kennel that I run out there, they were considered fast lane dog men. Just bottom line, they were the nucleus of what we would call the best of the best, because that's what you're searching for. That's your competition. That's your competitiveness. And these guys were those type of guys. Yes, it's fast lane. Even when you got great dogs going into these whole wormholes, what I call them, because that's what they are. You see those 4-time winners. You see those champions going into each other. You see those 2-time winners going into 4-time winners, because that was what it was. And that's where it really counted. It didn't count on what was going on outside the box. Not to me. It never mattered to me. The politics and the complaints was always outside of the box, where really this is where history is being made. They are not nowhere else outside that right there. Everything going on outside that box is the conversation, the entertainment that you write about. All the things that maybe happened prior to that. All the things that probably happened after that. You know what I'm saying? It all becomes a story. You know what I'm saying? And basically, in many cases, an opinion, but coming from a person who's probably involved or a person who's seen it from his view, a certain situation. Either way, all that out there has no major points to me until it starts and finishes with the dog. I might talk shit again about Fat Bill, but he still was and still is a great dog man to me. I mean, he still had good dogs. You know what I'm saying? You find him in plenty of pedigrees. You know what I'm saying? And you see all that. So, even with me not, dealing with him or, having my certain feelings about him, it doesn't change the fact when it boils down to the dogs to me. He can still get that love because I think that he was pretty important to me even back then. When I had all that other greatness around me, he was on my list because I enjoyed his magazine. So I don't never have no beef with you unless you're stepping outside in the politics of it. Then I can be ruthless. And I can be ruthless to you outside that box and still give you respect due in the box. Because to me, when it boils down to it, that's what really mattered to me. That's why you still get that love and respect from me, because it takes a lot. Went to prison just like I did, for what? What we love. We got shit in common. And just outside the box, I'm going to be on you. Leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. I'm not one for picking on people. But you hit a nerve on the worstest kind. But other than that, it's other, I'm pretty sure everybody has that one, that just, you want to like everybody, but you can't, because everybody won't let you like them. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. This is where all the complaints come from. You know what I'm saying? And these days, it seems like it's entertainment. And that's the bad part about it, because in all that entertaining, do y'all know y'all still have to go out and, the very dogs that y'all talk about, that y'all come to the show to, to get entertained about, y'all still got to walk out that door and go clean up dog shit. Feeding dogs, watering dogs, taking care of dogs. But you get entertained by goofy shit. That's where I be at when it be like, okay, when it come down to the picking and choosing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna always again stay within my realm. And y'all know my realm. My realm is the box. As long as we stay in the box, you know what I'm saying, I can deal with anybody outside their fault. Because that's where it all lies at. I mean, why would we even be in touch with each other? Why would we be even communicating with each other if we was not all on that? You know, especially when it comes to us, where in our history. You know what I'm saying? If I'm focused in the box, you know, and I can't see you across over there, you know what I'm saying? I can see you across over there, all due respect. You know what I mean? But you can't, if I can't see you, but you can see me, what did that tell you? We're not in the same place. You know, and that's a lot. I think that people who like seeing that stuff as entertainment, I really wonder why they're being entertained. You know, are they really looking at what they're being entertained with? The bottom line, being that y'all still have to feed dogs and clean up shit. And whatever the purpose is that you have these dogs that you're cleaning up shit and feeding all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's a far gap between whatever that box should be or would be, your purpose. There's no way I can put your purpose in being entertained by an empty box. You know, nothing that has anything to do with your box. You know what I mean? And it seems like the game slips away from that. And more people are becoming emboldened to be a representation, like everybody has something to prove. You know what I'm saying? And it's being made so loud on the outside, you know what I mean, that it becomes big news when the people on the other side get in trouble. You know, it just pour more, you know, oil in the fire and really just out here with you guys. Well, a lot of you guys don't have to worry about that because you're not part of that anyway. But you got dogs, but you don't mind the heat because you feel safe. You ain't doing shit, but talking shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if you're not on that box right there, and there's not a clear purpose, you know what I'm saying, then you will never be a factor. You'll probably be at one person or two people or some of the people that I've encountered who's still trying to be wannabes. I mean, they can't even be a wannabe because they're still trying to be. You know, so, and it's entertaining, but it's not helping them or the game itself when it comes talking about the dogs. Because again, I step inside there with the dogs, I ain't mad at nobody. I'm just only mad because, you know, some of these people, you know, you can't find them over there. And if you can't find them over there, then we have nothing in common. Because we have no safe place that we got anything in common. It's different when you got somebody that's over there that's been there. You ain't got much of an argument. You know, they either gonna concede to the fact that, you know, they was there, but maybe not on that level, but they was there to understand what it feels like to be there. So it's not like somebody ain't over there. Somebody at least is over there. You know, and I just hate standing there dealing with people who be acting like there's something over there and there's nothing over there. And yes, that aggravates me because that's the only place that brings us together. That purpose, whatever it be. But my purpose, it carries, my personal feelings when it boils down to it. I have none related to the dog because that's what all this is about in the history of what we've done. It was pertaining to the dogs. And all the people that we met, it was still always boiling down to me, to the dogs. I mean, everything I learned was still to the dogs. And I really wanted to know how to take care of them. It's like, you can't have a great boxer unless you keep him in shape. You can't have a good yard unless you take pride in that yard. And me being a Marine, y'all already know I have a shit phobia. If my job was to just clean up shit as dog shit every day, that's all I would do. You know what I'm saying? I think my dogs are so good they don't need to step in their shit. They don't need to drag their shit. I need to keep that shit off the ground. I want them dragging chains on it. I want them stepping in it. I just, when you got that kind of love and you stand it in what you looking at and what you feeding. You know what I'm saying? That gives me discipline to make damn sure I'm giving them the best of care. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they deserve it and then they earn it. You know what I'm saying?
All right, well, I need y'all to hit that damn like button. Big shout out to all my people out there in the Shark Tank. Don't forget to hit that damn like button.
And y'all know what I'm saying. I can easily turn on the computer and really, really show y'all the true mentality of just the guys that I know. You will see. You will literally see what I'm talking about. I've seen Stone City's yard, Puerto Rico, and in the United States. I've seen Big Mike in them yard. I've seen Sean in them's yard. Bull Skull. I've seen California Jack's yard. I mean, I've seen everybody's yard, guys. And I'm talking about the dog men who had these great dogs. Them dogs that when you see them, you know who he is. You know the kennel. I be proud that I'm even standing there. And just makes me think and feel that they feel what I'm feeling. I mean, that's why I could get along, because when the yard did, it was fucked up outside of California Jacks. And I'm telling you, they didn't have nothing like I was seeing on Stone City and Hardcore and Mile. I mean, he was nothing to them. Not to me. So I would expect what I saw and didn't hold it against him. He got a lot of knowledge up here, but he don't have the love for the dogs like these dogs, because, I seen me and them. They had great chain setups. They dogs lived good. They dogs looked like they was being taken care of. They had knowledge to be able to take care of those dogs. How you think that I was learning? They were teaching me and showing me. I mean, they took it serious, like, to the point where, like I always used to say, you put scars on your dogs, give yourself 14 days of making that dog disappear. And if you get that 14 days of work on that dog, regardless of how bad he is, he's going to be just fine if you know exactly what to do and you take the time to fix what you're tearing up. And if you got to love that animal to be able to do that, you got to be able to look at that animal and be able to fix him. You did it. He's doing it for me. So I had that kind of motivation and that kind of discipline in everything. You know, even when they tried to hit my yard and tried to have my yard all fucked up, you know, it was, you know, through their own pictures. And you remember I told y'all about the video that just mysteriously disappeared. You know, you will see me. There's not a video that picks up on my yard that you're not going to see me every day, whether it's a pit bull, a Rottweiler, a German Shepherd, or a Belgian Malinois. You will see me getting up, taking care of those dogs like they was kids every day. Every day, because they are. You know, my love for animals. And why do I love them? Because my focus is only inside that place of what I call purpose.
Military fed us 3 meals a day, didn't they?
Okay? Made sure. Made sure your ass showered. No, you ain't gonna be no stanky ass running around here that don't take showers.
You gonna shave, you gonna keep a nice
shave,
haircut,
right.
It's gonna be shining.
You're gonna be on point every day. I'm up every morning to make sure you motherfuckers get that point across. Bed's gonna be made and they're gonna damn near look alike. Should be looking down the bed in front of you and the bed behind you, making sure your damn sheet folds is all lined up. So when I look down there, I see a straight line of sheets. Tight beds. I mean, so when I looked at my yard, you know, you better go check the pictures. Guess I'll be able to bring them back out and show you guys. Of my yard, you will see there's a lot of dogs out there. And you'll see the way they just lined up down there perfect on them lines of trees. Why those trees were still alive? Because they all started dying. It was time to pull them out. But it was real nice. And it was really enjoyable. And it really was sweet to see it all coming. You know, it all started showing up. You know what I'm saying?
Not just the yard, the
Not
dog.
the yard, the dog. Everything was just, you know, everything that I worked for, everything that I was, you know, really still wishing through the whole thing. I'm still wishing. But guess what? I know I got some shit now. Because I've seen enough of that shit to know what it looked like. And boy, I had some shit. I ain't got to just say that shit. You know what I'm saying? History shows that shit. And it's like, you know, just to have that opportunity and that, you know, like I look back, and then I bring it all the way up to the front and know why I look at what I see up here in the front and be so happy. Because it really took to me. And this is why I give my nephew, I'm talking about my boys over there at Gameville. You know what I'm saying? Scratch Line News, they know his family. Is, you know, shit gets rough. Shit gets rough. And they went through it, and they went through it the hard way. You know, to get what they got. They did go through it the hard way. Went through many names. Never changing dogs, but went through many names. But the point was, they never changed the dogs. And to see them come through, and they can't get through there without the dogs. I know what kind of discipline and motivation it took. Because once you got that part down pat, and you know what it looked like, you're going to get what you got. And that was great dogs like we got. And it just kept spreading. So, you know, I always feel like, you know, what I see out there, you know, where I see anything I'm in, I feel proud that somebody was feeding some of my shit in this other shit that they was putting together. They were still feeding my shit. Remember my little square and my little purpose? And it's always good to see your shit in success. Can't hate. Yeah, but it's not the same way. If they got me breathing in that at some point, that means it's dead. And I ride with it like that. Because at some point somebody was feeding my shit. And that means this shit right here got some of my shit in it. Somebody's still feeding my shit. So I don't care what direction it went in. Still, somebody's feeding some of my shit. Okay? Because you can't let nobody set your objectives and your standards. You know, when I sit on my standards with the relationship of I carry so many people up there. If I was to get the gold medal, I have all my homies, all my friends, every one of them, every single one of them, and it'll be a lot of them. Just to stand there with me to take the picture, because guess what? All this that I came up with is because of all y'all. All y'all. You know, wasn't a whole bunch of complaining. You know, we didn't get entertained by arguing amongst each other, putting each other down. You know, we didn't have any issues pertaining to, you know, when Akron locked in, you know, we always locked up. We still did dogs against each other, just like everybody in Cleveland, you know, they would do their dogs together, you know, whether in Columbus, whether it be the leaders, they all, at some point, they going to run into each other. So you're going to have dogs, man, right there in the inner city, take a shot at each other. And it just depends on what kind of inner city greatness you got. And some of these inner cities like Detroit, even Cleveland, Akron, you know, these dudes had major players. These was fast lane players living blocks away from each other. You know what I'm saying? Every once in a while, you got to bring that shit down. You know what I'm saying? If you can't take him out, guess what? You're going to get your money back by jumping on the wagon and going with him. You know, and that's how it was. If you lost the one and you know you bought a good one, you don't even worry about it, because we're going to jump on the bandwagon. I bet you I'll be betting with him the next time you go out. And that's how a lot of Akron guys made, you know, that's how a lot of us came up. Following the right people, following the right dogs, whether it was from Akron, New York, Detroit, Saginaw, you know, PA. There's so many great dogs out there, you know, you can almost predict their careers. You know, you just got to be lucky enough, guy, to get out there and run around there and catch them and get a chance to be part of that history by getting it in. You know, I got a chance to make a lot of good friends and seeing a lot of great dogs, you know what I'm saying? And pretty good about picking them just based on the kennel. I'm still banking on the 90%. If I just lose 10% of the time, I'm still swinging 90, then I'm because I'm dealing with guys that won 90% of the time, some even higher. How did I know these people? Because I was out there. I mean, the very people I talk about is part of the history. You know, I'm talking about Mile, Triple M, you know, these guys is part of that history. What they did, I mean, there's just so many of them I can name. What they did is still part of history. We can still throw in Oddie Stevens. We can't forget the gambler. You know, we can't forget those guys, Kenny Allen, even Fat Bill, Ricky Jones, Kenny Gaines. He was like the last of the final of the Warriors. You know, he was that last great one from the Ohio area. You know, from back there from the Art Zebo days, Adams and Stinson and all them boys was up in there. You know, so when it comes to that world of the politics of all the things that go on outside that purpose, which is supposed to be the most important part of all this, the purpose. Why are you doing this? And what does it take for you to be there doing this? Does it take the entertainment of being a troll? Does it take the entertainment of feeling like, you've learned enough out here that you're just as knowledgeable as Ricky Jones and Kenny Allen and myself, even on a lower scale compared to those guys? But even again, I'm going to put me at the bottom of the totem pole. And let's start there. You know what I'm saying? That's the bottom. You can't reach that right there. You can't even get to the gate. When we start talking about that one thing, the purpose. I can't see you over there, so you can't get through. So what is your purpose if it's not that? It's the politics on the outside. And that's where, all kind hang out. You got 19,000 different opinions out there in that politic world. You got guys that just hate us because we that good. For no other reason. It's just the fact that, in your inner mind, do you really think it's something deeper than that? Like, maybe it's not me that you hate. It's this, you just can't get it, or you just ain't never had it, and it's just, we rather shit on my world to make your world shine a little bit by speaking up. But always remember, everything's safe in my world because I have that one little thing. I have a purpose. That purpose gets a lot of you wannabes and think you are bees in trouble, because when I bring out that purpose right there, and you're not there, it's a hard ride, because that's all I got to point on. I ain't gonna never talk about nobody outside of you and your dogs. And if I can't find you there, it's gonna be a rough ride, because you have no business even talking to me. What are we discussing was clearly a fact that we're not in the same area. You're not there. You're trying to convince everybody by arguing with me that you're there. You're the invisible man. We can't see you. And you can't get mad when you get caught on it. I don't be wanting people to get mad about the truth. And it doesn't, and it's not ever really meant to hurt somebody when you telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? Truth shouldn't hurt. It might embarrass you because you've been running around lying. You know what I'm saying? You can't be the wizard. Even in the Wizard of Oz, when that curtain came back, you should have seen him pushing all them buttons. Oh shit! Whoa! What? So close that curtain. Close that mother. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to close that curtain quick. He don't want nobody to know that was the other. Oh, he's not that big, pretty bogus guy was sitting up there coming down there. No, hell no. No, the fuck he wasn't. And that's full of those. Chat rooms full of those. There's just a few guys that when you pull a curtain back, you see what you get. It's few of those out there. But it's all in entertainment. The ones that get sick of the noise the most is the ones that, hey, I be wanting to know, okay, guys, to the real doggers. Now, see, and when you're talking to the real doggers, you be like, so, hey, guys, what y'all want to do, man? Because me, I like hanging around in the back and I like throwing matches up and just constantly going and analyzing fights. Constantly going and pulling out certain pedigrees of these certain dogs, showing you that, they all can get losses because of how they breed. I mean, really digging into your asses, really keeping your eyes on that shit right there. Y'all need to see a lot more of that. That's what I want to do. You know, maybe you might think it's just too much, work or anything like that. But me, I would have had these like Fat Bill got, and you got these journals. I mean, that's where I want to hang out. And I'm gonna show y'all a whole bunch of nobodies who was still matching dogs. Whole bunch of people that was matching dogs, and you just couldn't be one of them. So that's what puts. I mean, if I do so much more of that right there, you wouldn't believe. I would just have that. But one part that everybody don't report. I would just make that be one of the weakest things that anybody would say to a person like me. Because by the time I get done throwing all this shit and keep reminding you 1,978 dogs was reported matches in that 1 year alone, regardless of whatever you're trying to say. And 20 years down the line, you want to give me that line. Make sure you don't come by yourself. That's all I'm saying. Too many people say that same old weak ass line and come by themselves with the story. When we can pick up a journal and whether it's fake or not, at least we can look at it and talk about it. We can't even look at shit you saying. Because you ain't bringing nobody with you. You just coming by yourself. Everybody didn't put in a journal. Well, that's your fault. Because why are we discussing that? And again, we're not even on the same, you know what I'm saying? You wasn't in there and you trying to be something, and you can't bring somebody with you. Talk about you. Somebody. It's all your stories. I mean, you pay attention to that shit, y'all.
There's so many people who match dogs that a lot of people just don't know.
Yeah, right.
But they're in the book.
They're in the book. You might see these people in there maybe one time in the whole time. And you might not never see them again in the journal. But one thing for damn sure, if they did it that one time, that means they might have went into somebody who reported they match. And they never done it themselves. 20 years from now, I guarantee you, they can say the same thing you saying, but always know that I didn't put it in there, but I'm in the journal. And it'll mean more to anything that you're trying to say. This is one match that somebody else put in there. Okay? Because at least he ain't coming by himself. He's in there. So you wish you would think, you playing around back in our time. And the only thing I'm talking about is back in our time. I'm not talking about what y'all doing now or whatever, because I still don't know who, when, and where. It's all fictional, and to me, always based on the simple fact that I'm only telling the story I heard. So it's either way, it's still second-hand information, fictional news. Always remember that, gentlemen, with all you crybabies whining all the time. I mean, he's talking in the now. How's anybody talking in the now? Do you know? You know something I don't know? I don't remember saying nothing about no yesterday or the day before now. So why they be so quick to say that shit? Think about it, y'all. When they say it, they be the ones, be like, you want everybody to know you know too. What do you know though? For real. For real, if you talking like you know something. I ain't say nothing about when and where and who. You talking like you know something. Oh, but you don't know. See, you don't know no more than I do. Okay. Right. And they ain't me talking about putting out that. You just did that, cuz all the time. All the time. Because you want everybody to know you know something. That's so sucker move. Gotta pay attention to that stuff, people. See, this is how I deal with complaints. Because, see, these complaints come from people like that. And, and like my brother said, once we said and we done with it, we done with it. But what's that part at the end of the book? Where where all the chapters is done and you're going to shut the book on shit? I know somebody in the chat know what I'm talking about. That last little story they tell you for the end, after they didn't hit the end, then they tell you about the author and, the book itself, that final thought. It's the final thought. Always remember, how can you ever take a person who lives in the history of the past? And that would be me. You know what I mean? And take any light in the now of what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Again, we'll be in two different worlds to be having a clash. So, and I always do that. I might be hard and I might be aggressive, but I think that's the Marine pit bull mentality, you know, and the discipline of a true warrior. You know, you're gonna have those type of conflicts with those type of people because we're already in competitive mode, and if we're in the same mode, that means I'm looking at you, and I see you across in front of me, then expect that. Expect that. You know, I have to analyze if you in the corner or in the box. I don't need you in the corner now. I need you over in the box now. I'm ready to let go. You ain't letting go. You ain't even in the box. You just standing over in the corner. It's the damn dog. You ain't giving me nothing to throw in there. See that's what separates us again. So you can't take it too personal or even really get mad at me when we have to both agree, even if we disagree. We're not in the same place or space that has these certain type of issues. You know, it's not me trying to find my lane. It's you need to know your lane. I ain't trying to find one. You know what I'm saying? Am I talking too low? Did anybody miss that? I wasn't trying to put it, yeah, I mean, when I do that real low thing, you know what I'm saying? You know, if you miss what I'm saying, I'll say it back. But when I go down that low right there, I'll be thinking, you know, this mic right here, this thing can watch the TV with the door closed. So I don't think I'm getting that damn low that y'all couldn't hear me.
Sometimes you got to play it back.
Okay.
That's what I need you to go back and play it and watch yourself.
Okay. I don't want to miss nobody. But hey, I want to go in and one day start pulling up, you know, like, I wonder how many people know, or do we got the type of guys that's been out there around us and like seeing some of these guys that we be talking about. You know, I would like to look up certain kennels. Now, I know a lot of people don't remember the body snatcher. I mean, few people, I'm pretty sure there's some old guys can remember body snatcher's ruckus. You know what I'm saying? Now, he was one of those old fast lane guys who got him one. And you can tell you when you got one because you become very, very confident. You know what I'm saying? Very, very confident. Here, let me bring him up. This is Body Snatcher's Ruckus. I mean, a lot of guys, I know, especially a lot of you older guys back in my time. Remember when Body Snatcher got his hands on some shit and how ruthless his yard was. Shit, as Lockdown Rudy, he was one of them. And so was Ruckus. Jeep Dog. Jeep Red Boy. Period. Jeep Red Boy. It comes different many ways, y'all, but I keep telling y'all. They damn near control the ROM chart. You know, you got to throw that Patrick Tater in there because he's up in there amongst them. He's up in there amongst them. And it even looks sweeter when you can get all three of them working together. I can tell you that. That Cunningham stuff, that stuff still works with everything. That North Carolina Rose shit, that still works with everything. That Long's Word, oh, don't forget Triple M's Smiley, Litter Mates. Litter Mates. Litter Mates. See that? Looking just like some of that Eli shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't hurt to lose one. You lost a game. But look what he do. Look what he do. You know, I didn't have them on the show. Remember, that's the guy that had Grand Champion Stubby and Champion Stein. Yes, they know each other. They know each other very well. Champion Beast. I mean, Champion Grizzly. They go Wallboy Champion Ernie. Let's go one for my boy from the Arkansas, Louisiana Combine shit. They had some of this shit on their yard. This shit was damn near bred like these dogs here too. They just didn't have the Crenshaw Chinaman in it. But look at this cross right here. Oh, Grady. See that? And we be looking at Long's Weirdo. And Ernie was a good dog. Wallboy's got this dog. Mason's got these boys in the game with them. That dog right there. He got them in. He turned them into that. They were like his proteges. And see, all we did, we just started with Long's Weirdo. See, that's the RM litter. That's what the litter that made her RM. Miles Davis. And then you see his last name up there, Fries Miles Davis. And you know, I seen Miles go and back then, and I seen him beat Vietnam Kennels. And for those who don't know who Vietnam is, I'm gonna take a day out to bring them in here and show them the kind of kennels that Vietnam was. They were fast lane kennels. They hunted everybody. Wasn't nobody safe. Wasn't nobody safe. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't nobody safe. Oh yeah. And believe me, they breeding this dog. They breeding the hell out of this dog. What they did. And there's a lot of double bred. There's even triple bred Miles Davis dogs out there. But you won't probably see it too much under Mile name because he had troubles. You know how you get them things for for drugs, where you got caught more than 3 times and shit. Well, they got the same thing for dog fighting. That same old thing that can give you damn near life if you've been jammed up in the dogs 3 times. That fourth time, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that hit, like a person gets 3 strikes on the drug charge, like down here in Florida, places like Ohio. You get 3 drug trafficking charges, your ass is going to jail down there for life. They're gonna give you so much time; it's gonna be well over 10 years. He got too much to lose. He an old man down there like me. But he has great dogs out there. He has definitely produced a good dog with that Miles Davis shit. But as you see, we know this dog very well. But he also had a little mate brother. There go Doogie. You see how he bred? Doogie was a good one. Maybe y'all had a triple bred Jeep bitch on the yard with my rascal shit. We couldn't get puppies out of nobody. Never got a chance to do anything with those kind of dogs, y'all. Not one time. I mean, I had females. Who? It was a 4-time winner. Dog of the year. Yeah, he's the one that lost to Ram. This dog right here, he lost to Flash, Ram's Flash. He ended up being grand champion Flash. He was the dog of the year? Yeah. See, he was probably the first dog of the year that ever lost, recorded dog of the year in the journal. Yeah, he was like the first dog of the year that really lost one like that. But he was a 4-time winner going for his grand championship. He went into a great dog that made grand champion. So that just show you, great dogs. Without the competition, you would never got that answer. His competition, his competitiveness is what had him out there doing it. He went into the best. He might not have won, but still he went into the best. And that means Ram had to believe in Flash to go after such a dog. He wasn't talking shit. He was doing what he had to do. He wanted to go see. And Doogie wasn't even a grand champion then. He was just a champ. He wasn't even a champion yet. Another nice one.
How many of y'all know Champion Brick House Benny Blanco?
Yep. Harry Hargrove is one of them badass dog men. St. Benedict's is one of them badass dudes. You see that St. Benedict's shit, you see they was messing with that Rufus shit. Now you see them messing with that Red Boy shit. That Bailey shit. You catch them when they have some buck shit on their yard. They was just good breeders. They bred good match dogs. But back then, these dogs was running the circuit. Can't take nothing away from them. But guess what? You always got them ones out there. Competition is always going to bring it to you. It's going to always be there to get. You're lucky when you can complete the task. But at least you out there making the task happen. Don Rest, another good kennel. They was pretty good. Don Rest and Mount Man. Look how he bred though. That's triple Jeep right there. Miss Kitty wasn't no joker damn self. She took all she could take. And these are them old dogs, y'all. You don't see much of, you don't see the RM in them. And these right here, maybe because everybody don't, they may be, maybe not. But for some of the guys that know, they might be in other places. But see, these dogs like this right here, they went into stiff competition. And that's what made it so fun. And remember, I started with, show you who I started with. I started with this dog right here. And showed you how this dog and everything about this dog, all the way from Triple M Smiley, all the way down to Weirdo, the combination and all that stuff that worked. Now, that's just like down there taking Jeep, breeding the Tad. If you're looking at the makeup of what it's boiling down to, and look how it is bred, knowing he can produce what he did. And then more Jeep Rare Boy. Now they're using the brother. Key. £39. Look how rangy she is. Renegade and a little Lucifer. But y'all see that back there? That Niggerino, that Outlaw, and that Molly dog. All of them was some badasses. You still see that weirdo down there at the bottom with that mean Jolene. But again, we still talking about this dog right here. And I just said body snatcher. So he was able to do and carry on. Now you got him going to who? Hardcore. She beat a champion and made champion. But look at the Bulldogs in it. Still adding Rare Boy to the juice. Still got your Jeep. You're going to have a little buck in here next. See that little buck down in there? See that tombstone? You see that tombstone? You see that buck? More buck. Combination was working long before Mayday. Nice cross. But you'll find this in several crosses. You'll find this. You'll find that I always said, give me Jeep, Red Boy and Patrick Tater are Grand Champion Buck. Yeah, give me that top 5. Either way it go, you can have any of them top 5 up in there, and they're gonna work with some shit you got. And this is just other points of proof. And believe me, Body Snatcher was a headhunter. He was a fast lane dog man. Litter mates, beating champions. You see what I'm saying? Litter mates. But look at the breeding. This is what fast lane dog man look like. When your shit, it don't matter what you got. These is what he was, a shark. If you had a good dog, you got a phone call. Okay? And you got pages of him. And that was just one. I mean, people know Body Snatcher. How many people knew what kind of dogs he was running? How many people even know that man is legendary in the dog game?
Somebody asked Mo, Red Boy have litter mates? Mr. Eric Watson wanted to know that Red Boy had litter mates.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like I tell you. If we click on Red Boy, what do we get when we go siblings? With all the people out here that think they know the dog game and the history. There we go. We got Red Boy. We got Red Boy. We got Tails Mike and Tails Blaze. Blores Blaze. Okay, my fault. There's a litter mate. Let's see what he did. Norman Snoopy. That might be some shit that old Storm and Norman had. You never know. Well, it sure look like he ain't doing much. They're trying though. Little female. You won't find none of these being matched. But they do some damn Zebo in there. Let's see if that helps. All you can say about this dog right here, he came down from the Red Boy line. He was his brother. And with all these breedings, we're getting unknowns now. And still no results.
Who we blaming though?
It all started with them having Red Boy litter mate. Just remember that. That's where we started at. Another offspring. I don't even know. That's even no offspring. That ain't even no offspring. It can't be no offspring. Not being his litter mate. Ain't no burning around Red Boy. Yeah, that's Red Boy's litter right there. Yep. Mike and Blaze. You see, they didn't take us nowhere. We got a little bit more of a coffee and cream. They're the same thing. No bottom. Still going nowhere. They even bought some Red Boy back. Let's see if that helped. You hear? No help. Got registrations and everything. What he bragging about? No help. Not taking nothing away from the dog, y'all, but come on, man. How many generations we gonna keep doing this? What's gonna be the storyline? We done bred all the good shit. There ain't no more left. Nothing in comparison to Red Boy, right? Nothing. No comparison at all. Why was he able to do it? 1970. How many times did she breed cat? Yeah. Katie Marlowe and old Bass. That's it. Old Red Feather here. Oh, Triple Out Red. That ain't a lot. But I know Triple Out Red, he produced some dogs, though. I've seen Triple Out Red out there. He's in some pretty good pedigrees, too. I didn't see Yellow John pop up nowhere. Did y'all? No, I didn't. There you go. You see, he didn't show up in the sibling list. You see, now there's the sibling list right there. Triple Out Red, Nugget, Venom. Well, we know Katie Marlowe. We know Mr. Bass. And we know Fletcher Shavis. Okay? We even know about old Kirby. Kirby had him first. But look at this shit. Mother of the Hard Dog. Even Venom produced a little bit. You know, you might have got a winner out of there here or there. I've seen him in a winner's list on a winner's list. But that's a key breeding.
Because pay attention to who's doing the breedings, though. The people with the dogs doing the breeding does matter.
I mean, it will show. You see some of them though, like you know, he matched dogs. Definitely know he matched dogs.
Ain't Katie Marlowe the same one that was running around with Crenshaw?
No, that was the one that was running around with. No, Stormy Norman. Yeah, I'm just gonna lay out. I'm just gonna use my boy the Body Snatcher as my showpiece for tonight. You know what I'm saying? Based on the dogs that he beat, the matches that he won, and the champions that he had, and the way they were bred. No, he's just one of them. No, I hear very little of those who speak on champion Ruckus and the dog man Body Snatcher. He was a bad boy. He was a hunter. He was a fast lane dog man. Anybody got any questions? Everybody enjoyed my information that I was passing out tonight? You know, we shouldn't have no complaints about that, right? You know, just pointing out some of the dogs that you know, a lot of guys don't see out there and really don't know, especially for those who actually breed dogs. this is really, to me, for you guys, because there's certain things that I constantly just keep pointing out to you. And when you figure out what it is that I continue to point out to you, and if you've been watching the show enough, you should know how to breed a good dog. I'm going to leave it right there. You should know how to breed a good dog. I speak on formulas all the time. I tell you to pay close attention to what's working. I show you how to see how it works and the ways you can get it to work. And these, remember, I'm never putting up nothing but the winners. So you can get first-hand look on how they look. And every once in a while, we get a little message in there on some of these dogs on what they did and how they did it or who they beat. And which is very informative because guess what? It's showing you what kind of dogs they were. If you didn't know, now you can read. You see what I'm saying? And if you even thinking about the breeding of these dogs and to understand how and why these breedings even took place. See, you got to, before you go bragging about the dog, you got to brag about the effort that it took to get the dog. The effort is you got to take this bitch and breed her. And then you got to take these puppies and wean them. And then you got to wean these puppies and get them on the chain, let them grow up. And out of all these puppies, somebody's going to be the man. You wish they all could be, but you get ready to find out. Some of this shit's supposed to work. And you take what works and let's go with it. And he took what he had and he went with it and he targeted the best. And when you target the best, because it's all about competing to a headhunter, to a shark, because in our minds we are creating or we are matching good dogs and we don't give a damn who we go into with these dogs. The better the competition, the bigger chance we got a chance to whoop a good one. It's a hunger. It's a mentality. It's a way of thinking. You know, I ain't ashamed about running after Tommy Boy. I'm not ashamed about going into my fucking Legion of Doom. I'm not ashamed about or afraid, you know, didn't show no fear going to any one of them guys. Church boys, nothing, never say never. None of them. You know, because I only concentrate on what I'm bringing. And that's why I felt like I was just as much of a shark as they was, because my mentality had to fit theirs. Because I drove on their mentality. It was their drive and how they were winning and what kind of dogs they was winning and the fashion they was winning. You know, you see it, you know what it takes. You see it. You know what you got to do. You know what you got to have. And the only way you're going to make sure you got it, you got to be able to do the same thing they did. Go get their ass. I'm going to leave it right there. Go get it. Don't talk about it, be about it. That's why we talking about the body snatcher. Real good dog, man. Had a real nice dog. I mean, he had more than just Ruckus. But believe me, Ruckus was the start of and you see how Ruckus look. Let me see, the kind of dog look.
Big shout out to my man Fort Lauderdale D. What up, fam?
If the dog had a red check, a white stripe on his neck, he'd be looking like Brat there. Be looking just like Brat. No. He look like a big head Buck Rogers. Don't he? But he looked like he got brats crazy. That's what, because Ruckus was crazy. He was vicious. He was rough. And them Cunningham dogs, they game. They come in game. That North Carolina Rose and that Medlin shit, they gonna be there. They gonna be there. And for some odd reason, you could tell he crazy. He got that Jeep crazy in him. Because, Brat got that crazy look. Jeep dogs, them good Jeep dogs, they had that crazy too. They had that crazy. They had that intensity that gave, it's like something special. That's what I saw in Mayday. I see it in the Jeep dogs. You see it when you take the Jeep stuff and cross it with the Red Boy shit. You ain't losing that crazy. I mean, it's a different type of crazy. You have to have it, win with it to understand it. It's really hard for me to even explain. But when you got one of them between your legs and you know what I'm talking about when I say it's just, you just know there's not a dog that's got this type of crazy for you to worry about him when you put him down. Because he's a nut. He wants you so bad, he's going to wreck your shit. And he's going to be determined to do that. Care how many champions you run your ass up there with. This dog has got it. See, to have that, you got to have that type of dog mentality. Guarantee you, I saw Victor's jaw get real nasty before he left to Ecuador. I can understand why he was having troubles. But you could tell the way the setup was at one time, it was really put together nice. It just wasn't being taken care of very nice. Mm-hmm. What's that pedigree number? 283300. Got you, bro. Let's see. We seen this. If y'all look at the pedigree, we seen this. We seen this. We seen this. Abbott was a bad dog in itself. That's number one. That's number one right there. Good breeding is a factor here. Because we seen this earlier. We seen that earlier. That Patrick shit going with that yellow shit with the Jeep cross. You see it? There's my Jeep. There's my Tater. There's my Red Boy. We seen this earlier. Working with the same line of Ruckus. He beat a daughter of Ruckus. You see what I'm saying? Competition, they gonna do that. When you got high-end, fast lane kennels, like super kennels, they gonna run into people like those sharks because sharks do run into sharks. Good breed, man. We just did that. That was a good one. And I'm telling you, I can tell you, I can guarantee you, that bitch they beat was a bad bitch. Believe that. So I'm going to tell you about that crazy, like I was saying earlier, with these type of crosses. They had that special something to them. Because Abbott was a bad dog himself. Okay.
My man Eric Watson said that Jeep Red Boy game is game as hell. Not much mouth. Not much mouth, but not much stopping either.
Yeah, but see, here's where the Jeep, the yellow, and the Patrick fix the mouth. You add more, you're adding a whole lot of crazy. That means you're putting a whole lot of gameness in there. But when you got that much gameness in a line of dogs, you're going to find out there's going to be either mouth or there's going to be a whole lot of ability going with that crazy. And it don't take but one or the other. And in many cases, they have them both. They have all three. And that be them great ones. But I always say, them three together, they're going to fill in the gap. Maybe you won't get it if you use, Jeep and Red Boy. I know some Jeep and Red Boy dogs that bite the shit out of you. Tuffy was one of them. Not even Tramp had a lot of mouth, but he had ability to go with it. You know what I'm saying? He had that already was crazy. He had the deep, great, crazy gameness of the Jeep and the Red Boy. But he had enough talent to win. Didn't have the mouth, but at the same time, Mason and them sing, and Daddy tell them they'll kill Tramp. Because, Tramp didn't have, to them, the type of ability. They would have came in there with like them Smiley dogs that was wrecking machines. And they just figured they would probably run in there and just destroy, you know what I'm saying? And maybe it could have, maybe they couldn't. One thing for damn sure, you was going to get him picked up. You wasn't going to stop him regardless. Because he was crazy. Like these dogs, they're crazy. That's why they went into stiff competition. Stiff competition. That guy right there, Rick Arnello. That's who actually shipped me time. I think James Garrett sent it to Arnello, and that's who shipped me Goldie. Because he had Goldie, and when Pope got him for me, it was Mr. Arnello that called and got my address and sent it to me. But again, we're talking about great dogs. Same concept though. We just ain't got the Cunningham there. Look at this shit here though. Don't forget, this is Jeep down here. Mm-hmm. You see, again, I told y'all that dog right there was my dog's mother. My dog's mother. There she go. Never got one puppy off of her. But again, like I said, yeah, I even had a Jeep bitch on the yard. For those who didn't know, I even had her. It was Mr. Arnello who sent her to me. Wait, you want to get into the boomerang dog? We say boomerang, everybody got to understand. That's like saying Arts Missy too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let me go there, y'all. Okay, y'all. We know Boomerang. We know Boomerang. You know Boomerang still today has his own line of dogs out there. We hear guys talk about it all the time. I remember Miss Pooh Hall Red. And just in case y'all didn't know, there's old Smeller. He had Little Mate brothers. Made the all-wham list. That was one of her all-whams. It wasn't Smeller. It was Champion Thor. But notice, litter mates. Look who produced Snooty. Look who produced Miss Pooh Hall Red. Pay attention. Both ROMs. Both ROMs. Pay attention. How many of y'all thought about that part? Y'all say Boomerang, guess what? I'll be saying Arts Missy because Arts Missy was just as good as a dog as Boomerang. That she was. She produced Snooty. Look at the dog she produced. Look at the litter they came out of. You see all that, don't you guys? Y'all noticing all this? You got all that winning. Nice breed, ain't it? You see that, right? Again. Even as a rookie, I didn't know no better. But I had him. And he was a bad motherfucker. Yes, he was.
So bad they stole his ass right after his first time.
And believe me, guys, it was all due to Sheriff Powell. You really think these guys would have gave me these dogs without Sheriff Powell? Really? They didn't even know me. Yeah, we won over a 3-time winner in 40 minutes. Tell their ass up. We rookies. Rookies, but this is what they got. This is what they giving us. Didn't know how this. We got his papers, ADBA papers and everything, y'all. Don't know nothing about this dog. I got a chance to go home. I still had his papers and gave him to Pope. Pope said he would have been my house dog. That's what Pope said. Man, you should have never got stolen. You'd have been my house dog. We didn't know no better. We didn't know who he was or what he was. We didn't know he could fight. Atlas Brewer, that's right. Would have never gave me this dog without Sheriff Powell. He was giving us shit. Remember, this is where we was getting the dogs like judo. I wasn't bullshitting. That was back in the day.
K-Walk want to know why we didn't run the Snooty shit with the Mayday shit.
Because we never had it on the yard at the same time.
Bruiser got stolen.
You know, the dogs that I had would have been the only way I would have been doing it. But Judo didn't make it. He got stolen. Bruiser got stolen. Mikey got stolen. Those was the catalyst of the yard. All them dogs was bred great. But we were young, learning the hard way. Even out there on the farm, they were stealing dogs. They stole 21 dogs from me out there on the farm. 21. Great bred dogs. You know, can't tell you what their careers would have been like. You know, one of them was Yellow Day, Buck Rogers and Baby and them Little May brother. He was the roughest one in that litter. He was the one that turned on early, and he was probably the wildest one out there on the chain, and that's why they targeted him. And that's why he came up missing. But yeah, we had our hands on good dogs, and thanks to James Pope and Sheriff Powell, James Pope and James Powell, them two Powell and Pope, got me the understanding of what a good dog looked like before I knew what a good dog was bred like. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know how to read the papers, but I know I had some badass dogs. James Pope showed me why I had badass dogs, because the way they were bred. You know what I'm saying, people? Littermate to that dog. Yeah, no puppies, all puppies, never even bred it. Wasn't even thinking about breeding Bruiser. We didn't think about breeding none of them. Wasn't thinking about breeding Mikey. Wasn't thinking about breeding Judo. Blood. Man, we should have been sticking all that shit to Dusty. If I had it all to do all over again, Dusty would have had a lot of damn litters. I'd have been breeding these dogs to Shirley long before they got to her. Because Pope would have been backing this shit up to her. That was a good one. Yeah, Snooty, he produced some good dogs. And so did Boomerang. I just had to show y'all that connection. And what just made Boomerang such a great dog, but the fact that he had a Little May sister was doing the same shit that he was doing. Making history. They all were decent dogs, but if you notice, we can go down through here and try to find me an ROM. Outside of Miss Poolhall Red. Why Miss Poolhall Red so special? I just showed you. Why can she only be the ROM? That's why. Look how she was bred. I mean, she produced Snooty too. I mean, Bruiser. Miss Poirot, that's her. Yep, she produced Bruiser. Look how she's bred. Bred back into Snooty. She picked up at least 1 or 2 points on there because Smelly was a 2-time winner. But I know she had 3 champions, and that's when, back then, like I said, Pope was in good with all these guys, especially Kenzie Woods. And you see who owned her.
We did, twin. It's in the bottom of Sunny.
What's that?
Read the Mayday, the Snooty and the Mayday.
Oh, that's right. Tell them to send me Sunny number. Hey, send me Sunny number right quick.
Press line, send me that numbers.
Yeah. Send me. I'm waiting on Scratch Line to send me that number to Sunny, and then we'll move forward from there. Hopefully, I might beat him to it.
He said it's on the bottom of the
Okay, there goes Sunny. There it is. And there go Thor. That's Smeller's Little May brother. So they took Snooty, and that's a whole lot of Snooty there. Whole lot of Snooty. Snooty. Bred into that heavy red boy, I still say red boy. Anytime y'all see that lady sassy me, y'all know that got that little taste of Rosie in her, Zebo Little May's sister. That ouch that she seems to throw. Her presence is felt in yellow, trust me. But that's because this is how this bitch is bred. Y'all don't know her? She was throwing them. I'll show y'all something right quick. This little chick right here, for those who don't know. What do you see in that dog right there? Every time you see this dog right here, you see her. She goes right there, right there, right there. You see it. Look at that breeding right there. Y'all see all that? Y'all see all that fatty girl up in there? Did y'all see it? She's all up in here. Gonna keep on saying them. Scratch line. Scratch line. Tell them where you come from, cuz. I don't want to say it because I don't want to be acting like you know. I just need to hear it. I brought it up for my nephew to show everybody. To show there was some shit going on. There was some shit going on. Y'all know when y'all start throwing that shit around. Great breeding. Great breeding. You're gonna get your Jeep, you're gonna get your Red Boy, you're gonna get that Patrick's Tater, like I said, and you're gonna get that yellow. It's that combination, it's right there. For all those that don't see it, let me help you. Damn. It's that combination, people. That's why they got that shit they got. Bred beautifully. Homeboys. Homeboys. Family. Whatever you want to call them. That's them picking up the torch. Understanding what they were doing. Shout out to the Arkansas, Louisiana Combine, fellas. Again, another going hard dog. Passed down to the family. They was able to take that shit and rock it. And rock with it. You don't even see skins over here. Remember, there's still champion skins. We were just on him earlier. They was getting good. They wouldn't got the boil shit, cram that shit up in there. You know why? Not just there. Get that three-way. Yeah, that's not that boil shit. That's that boil shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When they was crossing that Eli into that damn buck shit, that Patrick cross, it was hurting them. Bringing out them bulldogs. Look at that third generation. Dirty Mary.
Bullshit.
They was on to something, man. I'm trying to tell y'all, fellas, they was on to something. And if you just pay attention to how they was breeding. It's all in the breed. You cannot breed without breeding match dogs. We're just walking down through history, pointing it out. If this dog didn't do nothing else, what she did, no bull score there. There go Major Payne. I remember Deep South had also bred to Emmett around the same time that they did. Yeah, we're grand champion retired. There you go. Tell you, man, these was fast lane dog, man. They didn't play. They did not play. You see how they breeding? Look at all that Zachariah. That punching shit. You see that Eli? That heavy Eli with that damn sweet touch of bolio all up in there? The factor. That's what I call it. See how bolio is in the Patrick dogs like Buck and them, then you got him everywhere. Got him touching in the Boyles line. I mean, just when you just got that, when you got that, you got that. And if you can catch it, you got it. This is why these dogs got results. Wacko lost, but I tell you what, he produced a bad son. I'm going to just go back to him before I walk away from him. He produced a bad son. I can say that for myself because I've seen him. Watched him grow up as a puppy. Good job. Okay. That's it. That's going to be my dog of the night. Since I had to finish up on that tonight, I'm going to finish up on that one tonight, y'all. I'm going to have to finish up on that one tonight. Y'all led me down there, and don't forget that all that snooty was up in there. All that snooty, that arts missy stuff. Don't forget heavy. Don't forget fatty girl. Heavy arts missy. Heavy what? Boomerang. Arts missy. Boomerang. Litter mates. Blood, genetics. That's when you see it work. When you can see the results of the genetics of Boomerang and Arts Missy to stand on their own. Hey.
All right, fellas, we at that time. We ain't going to be here all night.
That's right. Good studying, guys. Good studying. Good studying. I mean, I used to study that shit. I mean, really study it. Pope really had me really breaking down in there doing my genetics. Between me and my KP, he was more of the chef than I was. I would definitely call myself a sous chef just because of the fact that, like I said, all our winning dogs, including Fatty Girl, came through our KP. Even Fatty Girl. She was one of those dogs that he has touched. He's touched all our great dogs. All of them.
Modern day Earl Tudor.
Oh my, yeah, I say my mom, that's the modern day Earl Tudor right there. Man got his hands in more champions y'all could ever imagine. Many.
All right, fella, I need y'all to help me out. First of all, I need y'all to hit the damn like button on the way out. But as we do this, y'all know the signs. Come on now. Give me some damn thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Muscles. Muscles. Muscles.
Come on
Now,
now.
come on now. Now give me some damn roses. Roses. We need damn roses.
And you feel the truth, be the truth.
Show up and show up.
There you go.
Represent. Show some love. It don't cost you nothing. I know I ain't got but 53 people still up in here. All my people on the back street. But if you can't do nothing, at least show your love.
Show your love, fellas. Hit the like button. Hit the hold the button. Muscles, roses. Just hold them a little bit, man. Give me some enthusiasm. If I did it the right way, if you enjoyed this much, if you learned something, if you didn't enjoy it, you learned something. Did you really pick up what I was trying to show you? Remember, and look at the pedigrees that we grabbed and the dogs that we talked about. I mean, even then, I was able to lead back into my own history of the shit that you could tell I was continuously dabbing around. To even be able to bring the shit up and talk about it. We was grabbing. We was just fortunate to make the moves that we made to create history. That's all.
And that just takes me back to the conversation the other night. Everything that we was talking about in the past, we even took it back there to look at some of the pedigrees. You see in the conversation, for us to, when we was living back then, even down to our proteges, scratch line in the boys, think about it now. They got a chance to see what we was doing. Do you think that at the point when they got started, they had any idea what their future was going to look like? They had no idea, fellas.
Get out there and get to work.
They knew if they put in the work, then they knew what they learned. They had no idea if they was going the right track, but they stayed on point. And guess what? I always say, one day we will hope that they step up and tell their story. Because for us, we look way back and we never knew what was coming. All we did was just follow the lead. Gain the knowledge, gain everything, looked at the dogs, took the chance, and boom. And we would have never known if it was worthy of anything if we didn't put it to the test. The people before us did it. The people after us did it. And as long as we did the work and put the time and the love into these dogs, the results will speak for itself. Give a damn what you say and how you say it. Ain't nothing you can go back there and change. You can talk all the shit you want. My thing still leads back to do what we do. Put it out there. Let the people decide. Because you can't change the work and the work speaks for itself. But it all started based on our knowledge and ability to stick to our game plan. Had no idea how it was going to turn out. How many of y'all are in that position right now? You don't know what it's going to turn out. But the thing is, the future gonna let you know what your history gonna be. And that's where I'm at. We always gonna hear the same old stories, the same old bullshit, the same old, like I said, way back in 1993, you're still having the same conversation 2024. Look at all the years in between. But one thing you can't change about them years, all the way back to Victor, when he said he don't know what the Mayday shit gonna look like. The thing is, he know he got two of them out there already. Grand Champion Luke Kane and Champion the Brat. History took care of his daydream. I didn't know what it was gonna look like. But history took care of that. Like history took care of us. Like history took care of our protege, Scratch Line and the boys. History took care of Mayhem and the Arkansas, Louisiana Combine. History took care of them. At least they have something to show for their work, man. You talk shit on it all you want, but you can't change the fact. And the fact is, they had some good goddamn dogs and they did it themselves. And that's what's supposed to matter in this game. Don't talk about the shit. Be about that shit. And if you true to what you're doing, history gonna take care of the rest. And that's where I'm at with that conversation today, man.
That's where he's at with this conversation today, man. You heard the brother. He said that's where he at. Hey, man, I hope y'all enjoyed the show, fellas, everybody. It was all about that life. I hope you picked up on what I was pointing out. You know, I was definitely trying to point out some things to take home with you and look again. You know, when y'all come up with these breedings and it looks good in the glance. You know, we've been there. We've been there. It's like picking the dice. You know that blow? That blow? Swing that mug out there and that luck hit you. That blow is the work. Remember, I had to work to do that. That's the work, baby.
Do your job.
It's a gamble, baby.
Money! Money! Got to believe in it, baby. Got to believe in it. Get it, you know what I'm saying? Hey man, I appreciate everybody who showed up and showed out to all my people out there on the back street. Always the love to all my people in the Shark Tank, showing much love. Really appreciate that. Y'all continuously showing the love by don't forget to hit the damn like button. But on top of that, man, it's a lesson learned. That's all. We try to show that there's always going to be lessons learned. You know what I mean? And I ain't to put nobody down or put nobody out. Actually, I'm hoping I'm encouraging everybody to understand we all been there. Every last one of us. Even in the old, the old school. They all been there. We all had somewhere to start. So don't be discouraged. Don't get caught up in the hype. Don't get caught up in all that damn talking and running your damn mouth. No, don't do it. Let your work speak for you. And what's the motto around here? Don't talk about it. Be about it. You know what I'm saying? And as we close out tonight, you got to have it. First of all, you got to have it in your heart. Sometimes it's hard to do, failing and starting over. Because this shit takes years. It takes time. Dedication. We all understand what that shit feels like. But being an old man looking back, I can truly say I have fun. I really have fun. And it feels good to at least look back on your work and say you got at least something to show for your hard work you put in it. So the key to that is do what we always do. One thing we always do, regardless of what the situation is, we always. I mean, we always grasp the wind, baby.
All the time.
All the time, man. That's where it's at, baby. That's where it's at.
All day.
All day. Dog of the night, Mo.
Dog of the night. I'm going with Jim. Offspring coming off Sunny on the bottom. There's that Sunny dog again. That's right. Back champion Sunny. Jimmy, I'm sorry, Jimmy. Sorry, my brother. Look at that fatty girl. They go May took. They go Brad's brother. Heavy Jeep down there, y'all. Heavy Jeep. Heavy Jeep, dog. Look at that stuff there, y'all. Yeah. Dog got all kind of shit up in there. Hey. Boys was on to something. They was on to something. More G. Want to see some more G? Even on the top? Look at the top. Jeep up there. Plenty of it back down in here. Boy, sticking to that plan. Sticking to that plan.
Where you start at, man? Where did you start it at?
Oh no, it's just right there. Working it out from there. That's all going hard right there. There you go. That's the dog of the night right there. My boys from Gameville, them my boys right there. Another breeding. They produced the bitch. Coming off the Sunny. That's how we got here. Coming off the Sunny. There he is. Don't forget it.
Appreciate everybody for showing up. Big shout out to the Shark Tank for showing the love. We'll see y'all Friday.